Hey everybody, it's Jay, and today I'm going to be talking about the two guns that I've spent the most time with in 2021. Now, Misha has let me know that a few people in the comments and over on the Patreon have asked where I've been and what I've been up to. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. I'm always loath to talk about personal matters and personal business on the channel for a variety of reasons, but namely that I can't imagine most people are really that interested in it. There are over 50,000 subscribers on this channel, and if the majority of them are like me, they're not particularly interested in the personal lives of the people that they enjoy watching content from. They're interested in the content. In this case, the content is guns. But today, the guns that I'm going to talk about are probably going to be best served by starting to talk about where I've been and what I've been up to. I think that that will be a pretty good foundation, a pretty good jumping off point to talking about those guns. So, if you're not interested in any of that, and I don't blame you at all, skip ahead a few minutes. When you see me holding a gun, I'm probably talking about the guns that I'm going to be talking about today. If you are interested in any of that, stick around over the next few minutes and I'll get into it a little bit. So, the most direct answer that I can give you, and the most honest and truthful answer, is that earlier this year I got a new job and I don't have time to do videos anymore. So in March, I let Misha know that I would be taking a significantly reduced role in the channel as something more of an occasional guest contributor, or an occasional guest star, I guess you could say. So unfortunately for the internet drama hobbyists, and I know that there are some out there, there was no drama. There was no falling out or anything like that, no bad blood. It was just, I just don't have time to do it anymore, quite frankly. And there is a little bit more involved in that answer, or at least there is a second part of that answer. And my interest in guns as a hobby is mainly the shooting aspect of it. So the shooting sports, target shooting, plinking, etc. Collecting has been involved in that. I mainly collected guns that I really wanted to shoot, so that's a distant second to shooting. And then third is the historical aspect of it. And my interest is almost completely flipped from what Misha's interests are. His interests, I believe, I don't want to speak for him, are primarily in the historical aspect first, then the collecting aspect, then the shooting aspect. So if I'm not shooting a gun, I don't really have much to talk about. And if you have been paying any attention whatsoever, if you're involved in this hobby at all, at least in the US, you'll know that ammunition availability for the last 18 months or so has been really tough. And if not availability, then price. So before somebody types a comment and says, well, you should have bought your ammo before all this began, I did buy all of my ammo before this began. The last time I bought ammo was March of 2020. So I've been in a rationing mindset for the last almost 2 years at this point. What that rationing mindset has done is it has made me kind of reevaluate the guns that I'm spending my time with. And by spending my time, I really mean spending my ammunition with. So, for example, I'm less likely to spend 9mm ammunition, which has been, again, expensive and difficult to get a hold of, on the Tech 9 than I am the Scorpion Evo, because the Scorpion Evo is a lot more fun and a lot more practical than the Tech 9. I'm not really going to go mag dump my Tech 9 whenever I can't easily and relatively cheaply replenish 9mm. And there are guns that I have found myself coming back to over and over again for both practical reasons, so target shooting, namely being able to keep my skill and my ability up on certain guns, certain platforms, and guns that are just really fun to shoot. Those are the guns that I've been spending the most time with. So I've selected the two that I've probably put the most rounds downrange on. So I'm going to start with one that is as much of a surprise to me as it is to you, maybe even more so to me than it is to you. This is the Chiappa Rhino 40DS. This is a 4-inch barrel 357/38 special revolver with this very odd low bore axis. And when I originally bought this gun, I really thought that it was going to be a gimmick. I really didn't think that it would replace my Smith & Wesson Model 627 PC. But the more I shot it, the more I realized that it's not really a gimmick at all, and actually that low bore axis does work quite well to mitigate muzzle flip. The trigger is really decent. It's not as smooth as my 627 PC, it's not quite as light, but it's still perfectly acceptable for a factory revolver trigger. It's also extremely lightweight and very handy feeling for a revolver. Again, lightweight is a very relative term. There are certainly lighter weight polymer frame semi-autos, and I know someone will mention that doesn't seem very lightweight to me, but for a revolver it actually is pretty lightweight. We have these fiber optic sights here that are very easy to pick up, and I've added these big butt grips made by Hogue. I have them on my 627 PC as well, and they just fit my hand really perfectly. But in terms of a practical revolver, this is the one that I would pick as my practical revolver. I know that sounds odd to pick a Rhino, especially whenever you have Smith & Wessons and Rugers, but this I've really enjoyed shooting. I really like that recoil impulse. Again, I don't find it to be a gimmick at all. It seems like it really does work, especially when shooting hotter 357 loads. Now, if you've watched our channel for very long at all, you'll know that one of my favorite AKs, period, is the WBP Fox. And I have been shooting the WBP Fox a considerable amount. Not as much as in previous years, maybe, but certainly compared to other guns this year. Namely because this gun is the one that I have picked to be my go-to AK. So I've been shooting this pretty regularly just to make sure that my skill set and everything is up to snuff. Thankfully, this didn't go the way of the Pioneer Arms Corporation AK and has been really reliable, really consistent, fairly accurate, and I've really gotten it set up in such a way that it fits me just about perfectly. I've changed the stock out a bit, probably from the last time that you've seen it. Originally I had a CNC Warrior or Bone Steel made folding stock on there with a Magpul CTR collapsing stock. I decided to ditch that system in favor of a Zhukov because I wanted just a fixed stock with the extended safety lever on here and then the side rail mount. I didn't really use the folder anyway, and it just felt like it added unnecessary weight. So I ended up just putting a Magpul Zhukov with an extended butt pad and a cheek rest there for the scope. I did, from peer pressure from the comments, go ahead and add the top rail, the WBP top rail. We've got a WBP quad rail here. It's bulkier than I would like. It's not super heavy, but it is a little bit bulkier than I would like. But I really wanted the ability to add a light, especially like I said with this being a go-to AK for me, and then a hand stop of some sort. So I've got a little stubby hand stop on this right now. I originally had an angled foregrip, but I found the little stubby grip to be a little more versatile. One of the other advantages of 7.62x39 this year is that unlike 223, it had mostly been available. Even when 223 was going for 70 plus cents a round, I think it probably still is, I'm not sure. All of this pricing information will change by the time you see this video, so just completely ignore that. I was seeing 7.62x39 for 40-ish cents a round, and it always seemed like it was in stock. Now, that's probably changed a little bit in light of the Biden Russian ammo ban, but that doesn't change the fact that I've spent a hell of a lot of time this year shooting this particular rifle, and it's holding up well. I really do love this gun very much, and I'm glad that I've had it, and I'm glad I've been able to shoot it. Now, I don't know if my shooting habits will change now that the ammo situation is what it is on this gun, unfortunately, too. But at the very least, it's one, since I picked to be kind of a practical gun, that I will necessarily be returning to as often as I'm able to do so. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this year. Not doing a lot of shooting, not doing a big variety of shooting. Whenever I am shooting, like I said, it's more because there's just a gun I really want to shoot for the fun of it, or it's just practical reasons I need to. I have also been able to invite some people over to shoot who needed to shoot for practice and who were not able to get ammunition during the panic, and was able to help them out with that. So that's been satisfying to be able to do as well, to be able to help people out. If for some reason you're interested in seeing more from me, I have a second channel called Jay's Blades and Bullets. At least I think that that's what I've settled on for the channel name. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video that you can go check out. I have the same issue there that I have here, in that I don't post very often because I don't have time. Now, one of the major differences there is I'm posting about swords, and swords don't require ammunition. In fact, you can get a pretty decent sword for about the price of a half case of ammunition, and then you can go cut water bottles or with it, whatever. But I have a pretty extensive backlog of swords that I need to do videos on. Unlike guns, I don't think I have a gun that I haven't done a video on yet. Swords, I have way more swords that I haven't done videos on than have, so I'm slowly working my way through those. One of the last videos that I put up had cutting footage from back in January, if that tells you how far behind I am in terms of making videos. But I do post over there once or twice a month at most. And of course, if you're not interested in swords or knives or whatever, feel free to give it a miss. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all. I will do some gun project stuff over there, but it's going to be very rare now that I'm not really doing a whole lot on the gun front for hobby purposes. So yeah, for everybody who's asked where I've been, has expressed concern. I know I have seen some comments of people expressing concern, saying that they were worried about me and stuff. I'm doing great, like no problems there. Don't worry about me. Thank you very much. It means a lot that you've asked about me. But yeah, I'm doing good. Like I said, if you want to check in on me once in a while, you can go check out that channel. But I'll also be around here every once in a while making an occasional gun video. I need to go back out to the range with Misha at some point, hopefully when it cools off. It's been consistently in the 90s for the last 2 months here. So hopefully we'll be able to get out on a nice day and do a little shooting. But yeah, whenever I have something to say about a gun, this is where I'll be posting the video. And hopefully I'll have something to say sooner than later. And it won't be another 6-ish months before you see me again. So yeah, this is Jay. I hope you guys are having a good one. Please check out the Patreon if you want to help support Misha and his efforts to keep the channel going. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Check out my second channel if you're interested. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you a little further down the trail. See y'all later.